are the binomials a factor of the polynomial function? So here's our polynomial function, and here's our binomials. So we want to know which of these is a factor. To tell if it's a factor, we could divide this into this and this into this. Yeah. And let's divide it, but let's use synthetic to divide it. And if it's a factor and we divide, if it's a factor, shouldn't it have a remainder of 0? So to divide this into this, using synthetic, don't we have to first ask what makes that equal to 0? And can you tell it's 7? So we're going to put 7 in the corner of my synthetic, because 7 is the number we plug into the synthetic. Not negative 7, we put the 7, because you think, what makes that 7 when you make it equal to 0? And then you put the numbers in front of each of these. So you got 1, 3, negative 68, and negative 14. And we're just using synthetic as a quick way to divide. So bring this down. That's a 1. 7 times 1 is 7. Add down, you get 10. 7 times 10 is 70. Add down, you get 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Add down, you get 0. So I got a remainder of 0. So what that means is that is a 0, which means that this is a factor, because the remainder is 0. So it is a factor, so yes, it is. Yay. I can't spell yes. All right, yes, it is. So let's try the next one. Same idea, except for this one, we want to use negative 1. Just remember, you always do the opposite, because really what you're doing is if you set this equal to 0 and solve it, you get negative 1. Okay, so put the same numbers, 1, 3, negative 68, and negative 14. Same numbers as before, because we're using the same function. Bring the 1 down. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Add down 2. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Add down negative 70. And negative 1 times negative 70 is 70. Add down is 56. That is not a 0, so this is not a factor. So it is no. It is not a factor, so I'm going to cross that one out. In order for it to be a factor, you have to have a remainder of 0. And don't forget, when you're dealing with factors, you use the opposite when you do synthetic. Be careful of that. Or use long division, but it's going to take you a lot longer.